There we go. See, there you go. People tell me things. Thank you. What I was saying was, let me go from the beginning. I don't know whether or not this is on the Gacha Fest playlist or not. So the what was I gonna say? Yeah, so because I've been going through, I'm just scrolling through those. Granted, if it's not on there, it should be because it came out a couple months ago. I don't remember if in order for Gacha Fest to qualify, it has to be a voice acted project. I think it has to be. Either way, this is voice acted, so it would still count. But yeah, I just haven't checked it. But YouTube recommended this to me and also Ghost Kitty, so I had double recommendation. It was basically meant to be. So this is either a case of me finding something that isn't on the playlist but should be, or something that is on the playlist and I just happened to, and I happen to be jumping ahead a little bit. So I'll be either way. I'll definitely check later and see if this needs to be submitted or not, regardless of whether or not I'm, as in my judging position, whether or not I actually end up deeming it worthy of the award nominations or not. But yeah, so the video in question is Truth or Deceit Episode 1, The Game Has Begun. And in fact, there's actually also, I know there's at least one more Truth or Deceit video after this that also came out 2 months ago, so it might have been a case that they released all these at once. I say that because the channel it's on is also called Truth or Deceit, so it does seem to be, this is another case of, a team putting together a channel for a particular series and branding the whole channel around said series. So yeah, the description does say, right at the beginning, this series is a project filled with passion and hard work. I'm very passionate about this, and this series is heavily based off the reality show The Traitors. Thank you so much to all the talented voice actors in the series, and to all the editors, and they are listed below with actually a few special thanks, it seems, for certain people, but not necessarily the voice actor credits in question, and then obviously promoting the server to help take part. So it's one of those videos, basically, custom art of the thumbnail, that type of production. I will say, every time I see in the description that, suppose someone's mentioned how much hard work it took to make a particular series, that's always a bit of a red flag in my mind, because it always comes across to me as, look how hard we worked on this thing, please be nice to it, or, please consider it to be, of high prestige on account of how much we are verbally telling you we've worked on it, rather than letting the work show for itself. So I'm always weary when I see that kind of thing. It's not necessarily always true, in fact, frequently it isn't, but you know how it goes. So I guess we'll see what the fruits of their labor actually look like. So without further ado, on with the review. Oh, I should also mention that I haven't seen the show The Traitors, so it's another case of me being unfamiliar with the source material. So I'll do my best here. But if anyone's aware of The Traitors in question, then please do let me know in the chat.
See this manner behind me?
What I can see is your back hair not being like synced up to your rear hair, and it being a little bit distracting. Weird for me to start with a designer comment, actually. I guess Aiden not being here is, sometimes brings that out of me. But yes, I do see the manner, there's the custom background, and I do see the costume that actually does very much fit the setting that you're going for. So all of that is also quite good.
In my manner, we will have 16 contestants joining us to...
Okay, why are we cutting away from the manor after showing the manor? Why not just stay there and keep the shot going?
Play the ultimate game of deception. This is how the game works. As my contestants stay in the bedrooms, which we provided them, each player will receive an invitation from yours truly, which will determine whether you are a guest or... the Mafia!
Alright, close enough, okay.
Every night, the Mafia will have a nice time in my secret turret, and they will decide as a group on which player they want to remove from the game of their choice.
I assume that the Mafia have their tracks covered and people can't actually wake up and, disturb them if that's the case.
However, the guest job is to eliminate the mafia. This right here is the round table.
So I don't know the show The Traitors, like I said before, but I do know the game of Mafia, because it's a very common drama game. Usually it's played around, like, the idea of villagers and the mafia being there. Sometimes it's called werewolf, and there's a werewolf in the particular village, or werewolves, depends. And, their mission is basically that. They have to eliminate one person per night, and also not get caught when doing so, because there will eventually be a vote to determine whether or not who the actual person is. Now that I say that, it reminds me of the premise of the voting system of Among Us, but specifically the voting system, not the part where you're actually going around doing the tasks, because that's where the game differs. But the voting part feels very reminiscent of that,
where they will discuss their suspicions and banish the player who they think is the mafia. Let the games begin. This is Truth or Deceit.
Also known as Truth and Deceit in the captions. But the actual show is Truth or Deceit, so yeah.
Let's meet the contestants.
Alright, a little bit more custom art, fair enough. I've seen this background before. I think there's a Gacha Life 2 background that is rarely ever used. I think so, anyway. Either that or I found it on FreePic.
You sure this thread stuff?
Come on.
Also, this is the first time I've seen, like, walking cycles in quite some time with Gacha. I wonder, like, if this is actually an updated version or not, because they got custom backgrounds, so it's hard to tell to some extent.
You should know that I'm the best with directions.
Okay.
Crystal and Chris. Okay, so either these two are the stereotypical millennial couple with similar names, or the same name depending on the situation, or they are brother and sister. One of the two, I'm just guessing. They look very similar, so they might be twins. But then again, this is Gacha, so looking like twins usually means couple, because they go by Milhouse's parents' logic.
You say so.
I'm so excited to meet new people. Why do you look so moody right now?
I don't know. I'm nervous. I just wasn't expecting both of us to get in the show.
Well, we did. We just took two people's spots. Be grateful we even got here.
Whatever. So the next train is taking us to Karina's Manor, right?
That's what it said, so...
And this is interesting. So, is this... Are they already... I'm wondering about this, like, how the reality show aspect works. Because, in something like Camp Creek or Battle for Dream House, like, everything that is, everything that is filmed within the understanding it's the reality show itself. I'm wondering if the show has started yet for this lot, or if they just happen to put a camera at the train station to, get a sense of who these people are to begin with. I don't know which one. The train station does look empty. That could be just because of lack of extras because it's Gacha, or it could be because they cleared out the setting for them to film this.
Yeah.
Crystal, are we gonna go in having people know that we're siblings?
No.
Well, there we go. I was about to say, I mean, it's, it was one of my two guesses, and the obviously I had a second guess is because it's Gacha, and I'm used to that kind of thing, so they're probably gonna figure it out.
But we can't. That would put a target on us straight away.
Yeah, but don't you think it's a little too obvious, though?
I'm sure not everyone will pay attention. Plus,
Also,
I'm sure if we just did...
Wait, hold on. They'll put it... I don't know if in this game would being siblings be a disadvantage? Because I'm thinking about that. If they're both just regular guests, then I guess trying to eliminate one of them would mean, the other one would be like acutely aware potentially of like who their sibling has interacted with and might put you under more suspicion. Or if you happen to do it, right off the gate, then there's no reason for them to suspect anything, so they can't pin anything on you, so there's no advantage or disadvantage. Then if one of them happens to be a traitor and the other one isn't, then depending on their relationship, one of them might be kept alive for much longer as a result of that, or alternatively, opt first, and that be a suspicious thing, considering if they don't get along, which would, again, cause more suspicion. If they happen to be both traitors, then I guess there is no target at all. So, the only way I could see it maybe like being a disadvantage is like maybe right at the beginning trying to get them out of the way early to avoid them being a problem later. So I guess keeping it a secret for the first couple of rounds might be might be a good thing, but maybe but after a certain point, it just wouldn't matter anymore in most circumstances. So yeah. Also, it's obvious their siblings they can hide that. Yeah, I mean, their eyes alone, definitely they imply that, but also Chris and Crystal. So yeah.
Distance ourselves away from each other, no one will notice.
Okay, if you say so.
I signed up for this show because I want to win, and I'm not letting my brother.
Crystal de la Cruz. Okay, fair enough then. Crystal of that just means crystal of the heart or glass of the heart, depending on, but not with that spelling. So
Ruin my chances. I just hope he doesn't take it the wrong way.
But that's not what you said.
Oh, that taxi was useless. It was so hot in there. My makeup.
Okay, so we are definitely meeting everyone beforehand. Also, this VA sounds familiar to me. I'm pretty sure I've heard them before in something.
All ruined now.
Alright, I can appreciate the attempt at a custom walk cycle. I don't know why the eyes are darting as much as they are in that situation, but hey, it's it's something. So I'm guessing this is probably done with Gacha Life on account of that looks very different to the other animated cycles there. So it's not like the fade version that you get from like other walking cycles, including my own. Depending on how well you cover your tracks in Gacha Life 2, because actually you can do it pretty decently. Gacha Life 2 is a great way to create custom walking poses if you have enough frames to cover that up. My recommendation is 12. But yeah, given the fact that this is a very clear custom animated pose to symbolize a character is walking differently, suggests to me this is an old version of Gacha, making the most out of the increased movement options at the expense of potential character design ideas. That being said, I do definitely respect the heck out of anyone who is willing to go the extra mile to animate something just to suggest a character walks different. One of the very first things that I learnt about in my first ever drama club, actually, because the teacher there was somewhat obsessed with this idea, was how a character walks affecting them. We had a lot of time, thinking about like not necessarily in the sense of like lab and efforts. That was a bit too advanced for us. We were children. Not to say the children can't learn about lab and efforts, but it's less common to do so. So just more of a case of like think about like just in general invent a way with your imagination how a character would walk, and more often than not, that's something that we would at least consider, so they wouldn't just seem like ourselves, and that would help us with characterization. But it also helps the audience identify something about the character too, without you really doing much else. Is the reason that you have like a lot of actors who are obsessed with doing like limps for characters as well, just because like that immediately creates a contrast. I must admit, I myself have done that. Before I knew it was a cliche, I did give a character a very obvious limp one time, and I'm very proud to say this. I actually tricked a drama teacher who was in the audience into thinking that I actually had a problem with one of my legs. So it was convincing, even though I appeared as multiple other characters in that same production without the limp. But I don't know. In any case, my point is, is that it takes effort to convey a character like that. But but if it's deemed to be worth it and someone's willing to go that extra mile, I always respect the idea behind it, because it's not just about showing off that you can do certain visuals, it's about what that actually says to do with the story. I had to tell a George Lucas quote recently, the special effects are only there to help tell the story, which of course he said in the 80s or something before he, very much obsessed with special effects, but anyway.
Is this the welcome crew? I thought this was a competition.
Yeah, the one thing I would have said to this character is maybe like change her facial expressions a bit more, because it seemed like she was just kind of like, neutral or shy compared to what she's trying to do now.
Not summer camp.
Oh, great.
Oh, we've had other summer camp reality shows on Gacha Review. Not today, though.
Be nice.
Hi! You must be one of the contestants, too.
Obviously.
I do like the reactions they're giving to each other. I will say one thing. They're giving the reactions before we hear the line they're reacting to. It should be like afterwards, like or during the line itself where the reaction changes. That's just something that, minor detail.
Cute shoes. My cousin used to have those when we were 10.
Aw, you must be so proud of her.
Is this it? They're really expecting us to wait here. So low budget.
I would have possibly given like a bit more of a pause there, like a bit of like a tense moment between them, like that's as a bit of like a stare off between them for like maybe like 2 or 3 seconds, and then have a say, is this it? Trying to move on from the conversation, because otherwise it seems like she backed down too quickly.
Well, just go home.
Please go. I am not complaining.
Hey, looks like I found the crew heading to Karina's, huh?
Oh, good. Someone normal.
Depends who you ask, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm Zaid.
Crystal,
He's my favorite
this
so
is
far.
my, friend Chris.
Yeah, friend.
You didn't even have to say that you knew each other. That's on you right there.
Friends her. Do they really think I'm stupid or something?
17 single mum. I saw that. Interesting. Okay. It's been known to happen. Wouldn't recommend it, but it's been known to happen.
Cool. Well, friendly competition, right?
Speak for yourself. I didn't come here to make friends.
There's always one person who literally says I didn't come to make friends. I'm pretty sure that Heather literally says that in Total Drama. I know this is not based on Total Drama, but I've heard that phrase so many times. There's even full-on skits that people have done about the idea of someone not going there to make friends. So, yeah, I guess there's always one, but please vary up the dialogue so it's not just them saying the actual line. Disguise it a little bit. In the
Dang. Good thing I came here for the drama then.
So, what's your deal, Zaid?
I'm a bartender. I love making drinks, I deal with drunks, and I'm good at listening. Should be
Sometimes all the same person. We have very good regular customers.
useful in this game.
You might need that skill a lot.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Now that right there is how you do a stage whisper in voice acting, or just in acting in general. Actually, that's what people needed more of, because they didn't have to turn up the volume significantly, or maybe you did. If they had to turn up the volume significantly, then well done to the editor. If not, well done to the actor.
Finally! I'm not standing here any longer.
This is
You think that the train would come up to pick up all of them if this is all part of the setting?
gonna be a long ride.
Just don't start any fights on the train, okay?
No promises.
Them all being stood like that close together means that they can't really whisper to each other that effectively if they're in the middle.
This is the real deal. I actually got in. I'm gonna make sure I win this for my family.
Fair enough. Are you sure your last name is not Uraraka instead of Mensa? I don't know. Oh, character with vitiligo. Technically that was a gacha cliche back in the day, but I haven't seen it very often, so, Alright.
Okay, just be
What I have seen is the leaf in the hair, because that's a classic Emily moment.
friendly. Don't overthink. What I'm hoping to get out of this place.
It's this third character with pearls, by the way. For Crystal and Chris, it makes sense maybe like a joint thing. But all right, I guess I did say it was a lack of variety in this. In terms of lack of, I guess, not lack of variety in terms of just things in general, but a lack of variety in comparison to the other modern gacha games. So that's gonna be, yeah. That's just like walking says it all for the character intros, because characters all have unique walking cycles that fit their personalities. From what I understand as well, the Original Digital Circus also has characters that all look vastly different to each other. Like they're all based on different concepts. They might even be animated differently. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen the show yet. So that does come with the territory, but it does. But it is an extra mile moment. It's usually a thing that I would say just to distinguish between cats that are all humanoid, but it works in other contexts as well.
Is to make a few friends, people who I
A 19-year-old astrologist. That is about as impressive as a 24-year-old university professor, whatever Ross was in Friends.
I can be happier
Oh, paleontologist, that was it.
around. That should be easy. Right?
Oh, I thought he just snapped his own neck, jeez. We met Natsuki here.
Hey! I'm Chia.
Ryder.
So, here to play the game as well?
I don't really want to be here. My sister applied for me. There's no point trying to leave now. I don't want to make...
Okay, the whole my sister applied for me, that can work, actually. Now that I've mentioned this before, but having characters in a reality show that don't want to be there is usually a difficult thing to pull off. Total Drama managed to do that because they'd all signed contracts and they didn't know what the state of the camp was going to be like, which is similar to some stuff that happens in like Camp Creek, for example, but I know that some Camp Creek characters already were tricked into signing up and they didn't want to be there in general. They were there under like false pretenses. And that absolutely is something that is difficult to do because if it's elimination based, like this game also is, why wouldn't they just sabotage themselves? Or in this case, it's a bit more difficult to do, I suppose, because they have to intentionally have the Mafia target them, but they can just literally just declare to the Mafia, I don't want to be there, please have me be the first victim, and that's it. That's it, you're out. So, it's a very difficult thing to even say, like, why someone would sign up for a show if they don't want to be there. But this actually is one way where it could work. There's a Code Lyoko episode where Odd signs up on for this chance to ride in a particular like army plane or something like that as part of this promotional thing or blah blah blah. I don't remember exactly the details. So he signed up with like all of his friends' names to give himself more chances of winning. So therefore, it turns out one of the friends, Jeremy, happens to win. The problem is that the prizes are non-transferable. And it did say so in the details, which meant that Jeremy had to actually go along. So instead of I forgot what I was gonna say now. Jeez. Oh yeah. So you could say that the sister applied and the application was non-transferable, and she did the same thing that Odd did. That would actually be a way to have someone attend the show and kind of be stuck to a certain degree. If contracts are involved, then it's absolutely false pretenses, and there's a whole other issue. But assuming they don't want to get the person in trouble, they'll just bear it with it.
Make her unhappy. I'm doing this for her only.
Oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you, I guess.
See, that's the pause I was hoping for between forgot her name, not Gina. That's from Battle for Dreamhouse. And Crystal. Between those two, that's what I was waiting for. Like that little moment of the awkward silence before she immediately got bored.
She is nice, but too nice. I don't want to get comfortable with her straight away. People like that can easily play you.
That's true, actually, especially in a game where you're trying to deceive everyone into thinking you're not part of the Mafia. Okay, I get that.
Especially in a game like this.
Oh, she almost fell on the rails. Jeez. Okay, wait a minute. Calm down a second. You want to slow your roll or slow your momentum.
Okay, this place is...
Also, one thing I'm going to say is I appreciate I'm interested in the custom backgrounds here of this, because now that I think about it, it's very intriguing, the details. So we didn't really get a sense of like what time of day it was inside of the train station. So I guess let's assume that it was nighttime. So we see the night sky here. We also see street lamps illuminating the train station, which is a rare setup for a train station. Excuse me a second. I found out this computer actually has 3 different ports, and while the other 2 are slow charging, at least the cable doesn't fall out. So I was charging up the user interface with the same USB cable that I'm now charging the computer with. It works out. I'm wondering what that advert is behind Ryder, but I guess if he moves his head, I'll find that out at some other stage. I'm wondering why they're not all meeting up at the same place in the train station, or did they just like, you know, or did the studio just rent out the entire area and then you know, wherever they happen to land is where they end up meeting. I guess that would also work if it's part of the same thing, because one's inside, one's outside. Maybe. The only real confusing part for me is, again, why are there street lamps inside of a train station? Aside from that, everything else checks out.
It's actually giving me spooky, haunted vibes, and I love it! Hey, gang! So, you're here to play this
Oh, it's Brentley Mulligan.
spooky, marvelous game of deception, right? Same! Well, I guess we're all a group now. Nice to meet you!
Oh, or they all having... Well, they're all grouping... Well, I guess... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could put it in that way. I'm Shia.
Cute name! Well, I'm a...
Yeah, see what I mean? She hadn't said I'm Shia yet, but yet Anaya was already going like that. That's the problem with like reacting too soon. It's a thing that happens a lot when someone's like doing reactions and stuff, or like editing reactions, I mean, for characters. But yeah, you can't anticipate that.
Naya, we're so gonna get along!
How are you so happy and annoying?
Well, yeah, the lights are definitely for visuals. I'm not saying don't include like lighting of any sort. I'm just saying include lighting of a different kind. That's what I meant.
Hey! You really don't smile that much, huh?
You only just met him, and he happens to not be smiling in this precise second. Don't go all you know, women in the workplace on us, please.
What's your deal?
You smile.
Did someone tell you to lower your volume, or...
Well,
I think what I'm going to say is, has someone ever told you to lower your volume? Not did someone tell you to, because that implies that he knows of one specific event rather than just like, has it happened in your life because it should. Also, why did he just slide there? I think the keyframes are off.
I for one think
Yep, no, his keyframes are off. He's sliding off to one side.
Anaya is great company.
Aw,
Bob
thanks,
with a slide
Shia!
whistle. That's why, because Amaya was about to move, so he had to be out of the way, of course.
Please let me go.
She's not done so.
So, did I enter?
Wait, so he just walked over the rails themselves? Or do the rails end precisely at that point where, like, mere centimeters, towards, like, the Amaya's right when she got there? Why? This could be the end of the line, I suppose, but also that's a very dangerous idea to have the end of a line of a train station be right at the end of the station. If anyone has seen train stations, underground stations, or whatever, you know that there's a little bit like extra room, usually, to buffer you just in case something happens. The train does in fact slow down, but, you know, it's by no means a perfect system, so don't expect to not cause damages otherwise.
To rub some.
Or to have no buffers that are, like, blocking the view. If this is the end of the line there, it should be buffers at that point, and he shouldn't be able to walk over it like that.
No, not at all. Welcome.
And there's another slide again for Amaya.
I'm guessing you're here for the game too?
Yeah, I got dared. Figured why not.
Sure you did.
Pardon?
Why does he not believe that?
It's nothing.
Well, welcome to our little crew!
What was the point of that?
I'm Anaya, she's Shia, and that one's Ryder. He doesn't like happiness.
And you don't like volume control.
You guys already have beef?
See, that one's more, yeah.
That's promising.
It does, yeah.
Honestly, they're not what I expected. Not bad.
Axelrod, oh, okay.
Though, Anaya's funny. Ryder's like a brick wall, and she is quiet but sweet. Could be worse.
So, why do you guys want to win?
If you must know.
Oh, hold on a second, the advert, I forgot to mention it, yeah. Buy now, dollars, buy. It's the NSYNC poster. Baby, bye.
These arms aren't as advanced as I want them to be, and they are getting old.
Well, now that I'm here.
So does that imply you want the money from the competition to buy more gym equipment? or that you intend to work out during a competition involving deception and mental games? I'm hoping it's the former, because that's the only one that makes sense.
I think it would be kind of cool to have a title, especially a winner title.
I never thought of that. Well, I don't need to. All I know is that I'm gonna have fun and just be myself. And hopefully, I'll make it to the end. Well, what about you, Shia?
Well, I'm kind of the same as you. I'm not really here for the money or the win. I'm here to make friends.
Well, you've made one already. Count me.
Honestly, these two do have like great chemistry. I'm hoping that one of them is a mafia member and the other one isn't, because that would be a really good way to cause drama. Maybe that's why they're observing them, like it's not random selection, because it does say that that you receive the letter in this in this setting, so maybe the host actually is the one to decide. So yeah, maybe the hosts are just making notes at this point, in which case, fair enough. The two people don't respect the laws of train tracks, so that's already something to go off.
In. Let's make it to the end, bestie.
Yeah, I'm down too. And I must say, your Riddle was really cool.
Huh? Thanks.
Okay, mister. Give yourself some credit too. Your eyes are gorgeous. Do you know how rare it is to have two different colored eyes?
Thanks.
In Gacha, not very. And it's something I will keep bringing up every time someone mentions it.
Should we go on the train now? I think that's enough.
Okay, if a train's gonna enter at that speed, maybe it's okay to have the the buffers right there, or there's no buffers at all. I still think there should be, but okay, sure. Also, I think that's actually a helicopter, like from one of the actual Gacha props. Can't really tell, but it looks like it.
Chatting.
Oh no, it's a train that's already. Oh, it's already on its own rails. They didn't crop those out in the art program, so I guess they just use like a custom, like a remove background feature or something.
You're so boring. Let loose. Have fun. You're gonna have to socialize at some point.
Whatever.
That's this. You guys are gonna be part of the mafia. Yeah, that's what. There you go. There it is. And they all go in front of the train. Why? It's a train. It should have more than one car to it. What is? Okay. Now that is what a train looks like.
Whoa, that looks amazing. Did you draw that?
Okay, hold on a second. No. Rewind this. How long do you have to look at that picture? Let's see. Okay, so he does look for a bit. Fine.
Whoa, that looks amazing. Did you draw that?
Within like the actual universe, it's implied that the drawing is facing this way rather than having it this way towards him. But okay, sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm just doodling. It's nothing much.
Wow, you're like really talented. All I can draw is stickmen.
I'm very surprised actually that given that this series has custom art, we saw it for the host already. You would think that somebody would actually draw a drawing for this character. It didn't have to be like a full thing. It could be like just a sketch, just go the animatic or sketch style basically, rather than a full rather than a full like colored in image. It wouldn't even take that long comparatively.
Maybe I could get some tips from.
Let's get it being here. It says a lot of guts. That's all that'll be left of them afterwards, a lot of guts.
Me to draw better.
Well, I'd love to teach you someday.
Yeah, I would like that. Cody, by the way, I promise you I'm not some creep. When someone draws really well, I just can't help but watch.
I mean, the way you phrase that, also, promising you're not a creep is usually a thing that a creep would say, but alright, fine.
And yeah, I got that vibe.
Yuna's cool. She's a little quiet, but I can work with that. Hopefully, I can get her to open up.
I guess the only person who seems like having an actual, realistic, tagline. 16, students. Yeah, of course he is. rather than a 19-year-old astrologist.
more. So, why did you sign up?
Well, I guess you could say that I need the money to invest in my art career. These commissions that I do every day barely help me get by. And
Honestly, very valid. I'm glad there's always one competitor that seems to have like an actual idea of what they want to do with the money. There is actually one thing about Total Drama. When it got down to the final two, actually, they asked how they would spend the $100,000 that is the prize at that point. I won't say which two contestants get to the end, but they asked the first contestant, and like they mentioned something about like investing some of it, or keeping the savings, but then also having like a little bit left over to celebrate. And then one of them just says one big party on everyone to kind of sway all their votes, basically, all the other people's votes. So there's always like one sensible person who has like an actual answer for this kind of thing, at least. Honestly, with a lot of British TV shows, they tend to give like, if they even ask that question at all, they tend to give like a lot more like sensible answers in general, I suppose, because it's not like as, I guess, sensationalized. But man, I don't know.
maybe one day I can open up my own studio or art space where
That all depends on how much money you win, actually, because that's a very good question.
people can express themselves if they struggle, like me.
That's really sweet, Yuma.
Well, what about you?
These type of competition games are definitely something that I'd get myself into. And why not?
But yes, it is something that you would get yourself into because you have gotten yourself into it.
It looks fun.
Well, would you look at that? I already have guests waiting for me.
Actually, we were just waiting for the train to get to Karina's.
Maybe one day I'll be famous. But you've
I wanna be famous. Sorry, I had
gotta admit that I look fabulous, right?
Well, confidence is important, right?
Oh, honey, trust me. I am confident. Hey, what about you?
People who are confident don't usually need to declare that they're confident, so I'm guessing this guy has some deep-seated insecurity later.
I can feel you're already dodging the spotlight. Strategic or antisocial?
Maybe.
How could someone dodge the spotlight in a conversation aimed towards them? That doesn't make any sense.
Both? Looks less awkward when you're alone.
Well, it depends on the outfit. Speaking of it, this dress I designed would look...
Oh, wait, he was talking about her fashion sense. Okay, fine then.
great on you. What a missed opportunity. Should have brought it with me.
It's fine. I like what I'm wearing already.
Okay, guys, we have to talk about your outfits for a second.
But you literally just were. What do you mean talk about your outfits for a second? That was the conversation. You were already talking about them.
Sure. Honestly, I just wore whatever was clean.
Well, you definitely like to
And what the creators could find in Gacha Life 1.
dress simple. Right now, I'm feeling that you're not that much of a threat, but you definitely could still win.
Okay, so fine if like a dress sense I meant to imply something about like a person's like mentality. Because yeah, like sometimes it can, or something specific to do with them. Like the reason that I wear a lot of open cardigans and such is because I was actually influenced by Ben 1080 Force. But that so doesn't say anything about me necessarily. What I mean, I wear joggers because I had a really bad experience trying on jeans when I was 6 and swore off them, except for like twice in a play, and I still didn't like them, so I still kept the joggers. So that's really it. So that's my style is more based on life experiences. I have my Galician t-shirts because of the time that I keep spending in Galicia itself. Both for work last year and for vacations every year before that. So yeah, and so yeah, mine's based on life experience rather than personality, I suppose. But you can tell someone's fashion by personality sometimes, but I don't know how that would help you in a game of deception where they're actively trying to play against their own personality types. if anything, someone avoiding the spotlight by dressing casually at this point would be more of a threat to you because they are intentionally being as unassuming as possible and therefore as above suspicion as they could be. So it's actually the reverse. Someone who draws more attention to themselves, like in his case, would actually stand out more and either become a bigger target in someone's minds for, you know, for someone to get eliminated, or, you know, someone who people might psychoanalyze and see if they're the traitor or not. So again, bad idea.
By like not doing anything.
And you got that impression from my clothes.
Mm-hmm. As soon as I lay my eyes on someone, I like to judge them by their outfit. I find it very interesting how people present themselves. I'm thinking...
This is another realistic thing, by the way. 20-year-old fashion designer, fine.
How their personality and how they communicate could align with how they are dressed. See? Always thinking 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, alright, Avocado, calm down.
So, what I miss? Oh, and here I thought I'd be the first fashion icon. I guess I'm late.
Whoa, you look sick. Did you walk out of a magazine or something? I love your style.
Thanks, it kind of goes with me.
It actually feels like the style actually itself is a bit more like subdued or based on the colors. I would have said, but the actual items themselves, yeah, fair enough.
My job. Hey, you've been drawing here since I got here. Doesn't your hand get tired?
Not really. It actually helps.
What do you mean, Joy, since I got here? You got here like 30 seconds ago. 20 even, potentially. I don't know. What do you mean drawing since you've got there? Have you been spying on her? If so, she wasn't drawing earlier, so you must mean like right now. So no, her hand would not get tired after less than a minute of drawing. What are you even trying to say right now?
Me stay calm, especially when I meet new people.
I see. Artist, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, I'm a model.
That's the first actual observation that you've made.
We can tell. You're very pretty.
And I'm assuming you're a fashion designer?
Mm-hmm. Maybe I could design an outfit for you.
I mean, he could have been a model also. That would also make sense with his fashion, but yes, fair.
I have many things you'd look great in.
So, I'm the only one here without a job?
I'm guessing so. I'm sure there's many things you'd be good at, though.
Not really. I've had like...
I mean, you are 16 and a student, so don't worry about that.
10 random... But nothing really works for me.
Hold on a second, it sounded way out of sync right now. Yeah, I'm having signal issues again. I'm not sure if Amazon's still down or something, or if, you know, there's other stuff that's going on right now, so yeah, I have no idea. Hours before I get tired of drawing unless I have caffeine in my system. I mean, obviously I'm not an artist, but I am a hold on, loading. I'm back. So as I was saying, I take a notebook to places, and so I like write while I'm there. So yes, I don't get tired of writing necessarily, but my hand has been known to get tired on occasion, basically. So yeah, that's something. I guess it also helps that I'm left-handed. So I'm pretty sure like my hand, I'm pushing rather than pulling, so it's more of a motion. I'm pretty sure. So that might be part of it, but yeah, it's been known to happen. So it's more of a case of like, do you physically get tired rather than do you mentally get tired?
Well, I'm sure you'll find something. You're a really nice guy.
Aw, thanks, Yuna.
Guy.
Also, if you're saying you get tired when you do have caffeine in your system, I think that's a symptom of ADHD, actually, potentially.
I know you had the best time with me so far, but I see the train arriving now. I am so ready.
We can tell. Honestly.
So they said I can see the train arriving, but they had 2 trains already in the station. But yet the train we saw arriving actually was a helicopter before. What I would have done in this scene actually, if you had the trains already existing there, is just say, there are certain like big train stations where the trains are there, especially if it's the beginning of the line or something, and they haven't like set out. They have a specific time to set out, but you can enter them way sooner, or they'll just be like there. So, you know, if they have to all depart from somewhere, it's usually the final station. So it could be like this is the first or last station on the line, and it just happens that the trains have a departing time and you're approaching it. That's how I would have done it, basically.
This is what I expected. I knew these people were going to see me only for my looks, but I am way more than that, honey. They just aren't ready for what's to come.
Okay, wait, no, that doesn't make any... Wait a second. So, you want people to see you for more than just your looks, but yet you introduced yourself as a fashion icon and went on to compliment someone else in their outfit, which was certainly made you receive more compliments. Then you mentioned you were a model. So they know you're a model, they know you're a fashion icon, they know you like outfits. All of those things are visual. If you're saying that you want people to judge you by more than just your looks, or, you know, they say they're not ready for it, okay, fine. Maybe you're like easing them into your personality, potentially. Maybe that's what's going on. But also, is that really like your judgment to make that they're not ready for your personality? Okay, fine, sure, right, fine. I've rationalized in my head. It's, you know, it's fine.
Hello, friend.
Train station. Oh, so there we go. There's 4. The studio rented out 4 different train stations for this. Why? Maybe it's like so that the actual, you know, out of universe gacha production could actually show off what they can do with custom art and such, or different visiting backgrounds. But other than that, why else would you have 4 train stations rented out for what you could easily use for one person? In fact, you could have like one train. Just have them all board a train at the same time. I don't get it. Also, pretty sure the character faded in like actually grew beforehand. Their keyframe usage in this, I feel like they need to like move a couple of them. Even that walking cycle from earlier felt like the keyframes are very slow in comparison, which I guess is like, again, the issue I had before with like the animation where you can pre-render an animation and then speed it up afterwards, or you can like make the keyframes closer together so that everything flows. But I don't know.
Supposed to be this far from the trees, little guy. Fly away, little bird. It's way better up there than down here.
Okay, I feel like this might be like the kind of thing where you're trying to like, you know, do like the cutesy animal voice, like, oh, you're right with the trees, little guy. Fly away, buddy. You know, like that kind of thing. I feel like there's not enough inflection in this performance yet to kind of convey that. You seem like this is very, for lack of a better word, neutral, actually. Oh, you're far away from the trees. Oh, well, fly away. Bye then. So anyways, and that's not what the character seems to be expressing visually, so it doesn't match here. There's the color edit. The color that complements each other. Yeah, I guess the one advantage of having different train stations is that all the characters don't meet at the same time. So I guess the ones who are more introverted aren't super overwhelmed, and also so that, you know, people like the 2 fashion icons don't end up, I guess, meeting this character too early, so I guess they don't form like a triple friendship thing or whatever's going on. I'm not sure. A triple friendship thing. I just said a trio and it made a lot of sense. I don't know why I didn't.
Please don't tell me I'm the last one again.
Nope, you're right on time. It's just me right now, unfortunately.
Fine.
I was gonna say this is an open area. How can you not tell if you're the last person here or not? If there's only one person waiting.
I'm assuming you're here for the game too? I'm Carlos.
Yeah, I'm waiting to head to Karina's Manor.
And you are?
Oh, my apologies. I'm Aoife. I'm from up north and I'm very interested in nature, especially gardens.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. So I have met people from up north in the UK specifically, obviously, who are named Aoife. It's spelled that way. But I also like the idea that, like you said, like nature's like nature. Like suddenly, like the accent kicked in for one word. It's like, oh, the character's from up north. Nature, up north. I don't know, something like that. It just felt like that was like a correction the VA was making over time. I'm sure that because this is a much more, I guess, I guess, professional seeming production, that the director was more involved in coaching the voice actors, so that must have been just an oversight on their part.
I'm from Spain, but I've been living here for work. I have a big family waiting for me back home after this is all over.
Oh, it's the opposite of me, actually. I've like gone from the UK to work in Spain for a year.
Got 6 siblings, my grandma, my mom. It's a full house.
Oh, it must be nice to get to be with your family all the time. I barely get to see mine. They're
Why? Okay. Oh, okay. Now I'm hearing the accent a bit more. Actually, now it's sort of starting to kick in. This conversation feels a bit more exposition-y than the other ones. Like the other conversations felt like they were all asking each other questions, and so they will answer them particularly. But Carlos here just like exposited about his family without any prompting whatsoever. Aoife's going to respond and talk about hers because it's part of the conversation. But yeah, the fact that he brought up his family like out of the blue seems a little bit more unnatural than the other details we've learned about the characters thus far. Outside of the confessionals, where the whole point is expositions, so I'm not counting those.
always working abroad. Can I ask, are you doing this for them?
Oh yeah, every second of it.
I'm quite comfortable speaking with Carlos so far. He's a very humble guy.
Something about Aoife that.
It said environmentalist, so yeah, she definitely meant to be more passionate. I'm not sure if this is if this is the VA's natural accent or not. Jury's still out on that one, I suppose. If it's not their natural accent, I can understand the neutrality in the voice, because I've said this before, but the reason I never ask any VAs specifically to do accents that outside of their own, even if they're replacing a existing VA that had different accents, that's why Terry's had like 4 different accents, is because it takes away from their performance if they're not prepared to go ahead and do that. It's something that actually Monet talked about, where particularly like in theaters in Anguilla particularly, there's a huge focus on, even if a place is in a particular area, you all learn the accent basically, like no exceptions. And in my case, it's been more about like 50-50. It depends, because sometimes actually, like even like the 2 times I've been in Macbeth, actually, one of them we didn't do the Scottish accent. That was not a requirement, because again, it was something that was, even outside of just voice acting, if you're focusing on the accent and it doesn't work, it can detract from the performance, which is something that I had to learn when I did the second version of Macbeth, and I was like, okay, let's do the Scottish accent. The reason I did it in that one is because I was in a group of people. It was for a school assessment, and a lot of them weren't super keen. They took drama as what I thought would be an easier option, as well as something that wouldn't require that much writing. Neither of which was true, but they didn't find out until later. So they weren't super, I guess, into acting itself. A few of them were, but like half of them weren't. And one of the ones that wasn't was a guy who is Portuguese but had lived in Scotland, and so had grown up around the Scottish accent. So as a way to incentivize him and get him more like involved and enthusiastic about the production, I said, let's all learn the Scottish accent. And yes, I was the unofficial leader of the group, because so that's why we did it for that one. But it was it was definitely a toss up, because some people like also like weren't like super into acting in general. Again, like I said before, in that group, so the Scottish accent made them even more paranoid. There's one of them who ended up sounding more Ugandan than Scottish, and he was the one who struggled the most to get around that, and he was like the most rigid performer out of the bunch as a result of that. The guy who actually been in Scotland really like came out of his shell and did an amazing King Duncan and whatnot, and then the rest of us kind of were sort of in the middle, I suppose. It was a risky move, and one that I definitely would not repeat after that experience, and that's the reason why. In the case of voice acting, I say the same thing, because when the only thing that you can hear is a person's performance, it's even worse, actually. You know, if you focus on like your actions and mannerisms and everything else in acting, and the accent doesn't work for you, people can focus on other stuff instead. You know, think about Bert from Mary Poppins, for example. Not a convincing accent, but a great performance. But yeah, when it's voice acting, it is just the voice, and therefore it stands out more. So it depends. So go back to what I was saying. If Aoife's natural accent is not the one she's doing right now, it would explain the neutrality. If it is the natural accent, then I still encourage trying to get them to open up a bit more and feel and get a bit more inflection in there. Especially if they're trying to, talk to animals. There's a lot of like ups and downs you do when you're doing a baby talk voice, essentially. That was a long-winded speech. Sorry about that.
Makes me trust her.
Affiliate accents that have lived in a country with accents but moved to different countries. I do not think they'd have a lot willpower to get someone to learn it. I mean, potentially. So I'm trying to figure out what you're saying in that one. Yeah, yes, people are familiar in general with with like different like regional accents from where they live, because you're more likely to hear them just in either in media or just in passing. Just because you're familiar with something doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be good at emulating it. So that's where there's a risk involved in that. But again, I don't actually know.
I mean, who wouldn't? She's just a very friendly person who loves nature. She isn't that big of a threat, I think.
Okay, people say who's maybe a threat or not, and I wonder, because if the idea is that you have to eliminate and vote someone you think is a traitor without knowing who the traitor is yet, you don't know who's going to be a threat or not. The only way that someone could be like a big threat or not is if they're able to mask their personality or like intentions behind something else. And as far as everyone is concerned right now, with the exception of the siblings who already know each other, any personality that they're providing right now could be a facade. We the audience know, thanks to their confessionals, that most of them aren't facades, but in general, that's something that they should be thinking. So if everyone has like a very defined personality, I would actually say the ones who feel more like bombastic characters, let's say, that you can still find in the real world, but stand out a lot more, are the ones I'd be most worried about, because they're the kinds of things someone would do to create a persona, basically. That's why and I would consider them to be the biggest threats. Like a kind-hearted environmentalist is probably like mid-tier in terms of threat levels, because that's the kind of thing you can be in real life, and it's not difficult to put on necessarily, and it wouldn't have to like try to change all your mannerisms or something. So yeah, so I say medium level threat basically is where I'm going to put Aoife right now.
Oh, where are you from? I'm curious, just because your name is really pretty.
Thanks. Well, I'm from Northern Ireland, grew up surrounded by forests and animals, and now I can't go a day without them.
That's nice.
There you go.
Hey, glad to see someone new here.
Agreed. Are you here?
That's also shuffling heads. That's a bit more of a smooth walk cycle.
Yeah.
Carlos, and
I think I'm about to glitch again, by the way, because it went really out of sync for a second there. So I'll give it a moment. Okay, I think we're good.
This is Aoife.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Nia.
Nope, no, we're not. We're still pausing, and it's still like having that. What I'm seeing right now is basically like thunder and lightning, where like the visuals happen first and the sound comes like way later. That's what I'm having a trouble with at the moment on this screen. Let's see if I can actually reduce some stuff. No one send me any Discord images because I'm closing everything. Okay, let's try that. Okay, a little bit less delayed, but still trying to. I press an X. I love when something isn't loading correctly, and then you like press the X to unload it, and it still takes a long time to unload. If we're talking about Aoife still, yeah, potentially. I could definitely see a whole roster of nice characters being like the what. Then again, it seems like there's only 3 Mafia members, so you might so they might have to they might have to be a bit more strategic about it. But yeah, Aoife would be a good candidate in my opinion.
Do you guys want some? They're homemade vegan biscuits, oats and bananas.
Well, you've taken a bite out of both of them, so no thanks.
No thanks. It's cool that you can bake, though.
Always keeps my hands busy, and it helps me think.
Thanks.
Anytime.
So someone who needs to keep her hands busy at all times. What other things would you do to keep your hands busy? A little bit of nefarious murder, per se?
So, what are you hoping to get out of this? Besides the money, of course.
Money isn't really besides anything. It's the main reason.
Something specific?
Well, just something I've been saving up for a long time. I think this money could speed things up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna have a guess right now. Engagement ring. She wants to propose to someone, and she's saving up for an engagement ring.
And that is...
Do you really have to know?
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, she wouldn't want to say it because a potential partner would be watching the show and therefore would get a hint as to what's to come, so you don't want to feel the surprise, so... Yeah.
As personal as it may be, and as much as I don't want to, maybe I need to branch out a bit. In a game like this, it's good to have allies. If you must know, it's to complete my transition. I don't exactly feel complete yet, if you get what I mean.
Oh, you're trans?
Yeah, is there any problem with that?
No, not at all.
Okay. I would not have been so defensive in that moment to be like, okay, is there a problem with that when the reaction is so so positive or just like general surprise? Like it doesn't like it didn't come across as someone actually having a problem at all. Then again, it seems like this guy's facial expression might suggest more problem than anything else, but let's see what... it might just be giggling at Aoife being awkward.
I think you look really pretty. I barely noticed.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I mean, I guess that depends whether or not whether or not they're like actually meant to be, you know, male to female or female to male. You know, the classic thing. God, I've got the Amelia Perez song stuck in my head now. Oh my goodness, man to woman or woman to man. Yeah. Oh, okay. Be gone, spirit. Anyway, as I was saying, it depends on what order, because like telling someone that they pass is always difficult when you don't know what they've transitioned to versus what they've transitioned from. It's always a bit difficult when it comes to that. So you know. Good of Aoife to not specify, I suppose.
I'm sorry if you feel like I forced you to open up to me. I just love to socialize.
It's all good. Maybe I should have been...
That's a good point. It wasn't really like, you know, it wasn't really like much of an interrogation. It's more like an, oh, okay, what's going on here? I'll never tell you. All right, fine. You've broken down all my defenses. I must reveal the secret. It felt a bit more like that, to be honest. It's been like, okay, geez, calm down.
A little more friendly, too. After all, you're supposed to talk to others to get through the game.
Well, I'm glad...
Yeah, and to get through like this scene they're trying to film with you, basically. That's the first part of the experience.
Plus, through your group. I've enjoyed speaking to you guys so far.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I hear the train now.
She definitely... Aoife's arm never got scrapped. What do you mean you hear the train? The train is right there! You want to save up some money for some laser eye surgery on top of the transitioning surgery? Just saying.
Here goes nothing.
"15 players, 3 Mafia, and 12 guests. Perfect. All equally clueless. For now."
Oh, 15 only. We agreed on 16.
Where's the last contestant? Darling, trust me. I know what I'm doing.
Well, let's just say that Nia was not the only person to not see the train. R.I.P.
I guess you could say that everything happens for a reason.
Oh gosh, a twist in the first season already?
Why? Okay, why would a twist in the first episode would be a surprise? A twist in the first season overall is par for the course for something like this.
You're crazy. I love it.
Because a twist implies that, there's like a breaking of some sort of status quo that existed before this point. If you're in the first season, there is no status quo yet, and therefore it's not a twist, it's just a feature.
Come on, Jesse. You know how things run when I'm in charge. After all, the game doesn't
Does she? It's the first season. Have you two worked together in the past? We don't know.
begin when they walk through the door. It begins with a secret.
That's one way to put it. You enjoy this way too much.
If they're smart, they won't trust anyone. If they're stupid, well, higher ratings, I guess. Let's see who plays.
See, this is what I was saying before. You can't, judge a person by, you can make a first impression, because everyone makes first impressions about somebody based on, all the different, factors or something. Particularly, remember, fashion designer guy judging everyone's clothes at that point. So he knows, but you can't make an accurate assessment of a person from the first time that you meet them. Not something that's, fully in detail. Especially because a lot of people, try to actually, put up a front before. So, yeah, she's actually absolutely right in this instance that, they should trust no one, because anyone could be putting up a facade. Everyone who said up until this point, oh, this person's not a threat or something, they're setting themselves up for potential failure. Unless they're a traitor, in which case, lying hidden somewhere in this school? We're in a school now?
And who gets played.
That's how you know it's not a live TV edit.
Let's meet the contestants.
Or the voice
Do
actors,
you have what it takes to win my ultimate game of deception? This twist will change everything.
Don't be mean, Crystal. He's only trying to be nice. What?
Honestly, you know what? I like this at the end here. I don't think I've seen end credits like this since Wakfu, actually. Wakfu tended to have a skit towards the end or something, and a bit like a chibi animation. And they didn't even focus on every single character, because I guess it would take too long because it was syndicated for TV, but I don't know.
Is Crystal so secretive about us being twins? Is she embarrassed of me?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, she'd explained before that's not what was going on. Oh, Ladybug is actually a very, it's a very, it's a very clever name, actually. I don't know why it's separated by, an acronym. That feels a bit strange, but hey, Also, the loving Bakugo, okay, fair enough.
I think you should give me the map. You're not that good at this. No offense. Hey, are you okay?
The garden of this place is just gorgeous, don't you think? When will there be a challenge in the...
But you're not in the garden. If you're gonna have this happen, put her in the garden to react to
forest? I just love nature.
So, did I interrupt something? Yeah, I got dared. Figured why not.
I really respect the Kid Goku profile picture. Shout out to original Dragon Ball. Every chance I can get. Not original Dragon Ball, not even actually official merch, but there you go. Close enough. Close enough.
You guys already have beef? That's promising.
I'm not here for the money. I'm only here to make friends. It's hard to find people who are actually nice.
You actually did that? What's wrong with you? This is going to take a while.
Do you really think I care what people think? Come on! There's no time for that. I'm here to have fun.
Why are you speaking to me like that? Leave me alone.
Correct card voice actors are sustainable. Okay, fair enough.
Your teeth look like corn. It's wild how people...
Which is a shame, because that's the one that I said before. I'm pretty sure I've heard this person
underestimate the quiet ones, and honestly,
oh well.
I like it that way.
People tend to underestimate me. They think I'm all beauty and no brains. But when you're challenged by this toxic world, you tend to learn a few tricks.
Yes, like introducing yourself specifically surrounding your beauty and not your brains. Again, that still does not make sense to me.
We're 6 feet tall, and everything scares you. Just go. I'm not losing the challenge because of you.
I can't believe I actually got in. This is the real deal, and I'm gonna make sure I win this for my family.
You know, you're not as quiet as everyone says you are. I'm glad you can open up to me.
Transitioning hasn't changed who I am. It just makes it easier.
I mean, it has physically changed who you are, because that hair is different to the one that we saw you in the previous scene.
To be me.
Yes! Finally, an art challenge! Oh, we are so gonna win this.
Wait, the second half? I'm guessing that the second half of... Oh, because it says the game has begun part 1. Okay. I was about to be like, if this was a 2-episode series, I'd be very disappointed. Because I feel like they set up a lot of stuff they don't have time to pay off in 1 episode. But definitely something that is great for, like, you know, for the rest of a series or something. The only thing is that I said this before with again with Camping Battle for Dreamhouse. The disadvantage of having so many different contestants, just aside from obviously, you know, the casting alone, and, you know, directing and all that stuff, is the fact that it takes much longer to introduce them if you want to introduce them, like, with, you know, proper characterization. Because otherwise you just kind of have to do what Total Drama did and, like, just, you know, introduce, like, everyone very quickly, do quick fire thing, and then let the ones who actually have a more defined personality and a better drawn art style, because some of them they didn't actually do that well at the beginning, because they knew it were going to get eliminated soon, would be the ones that you would actually, like, see throughout the competition and get to know more about as that happens. But yeah, in the case of... What was I going to say? Yeah, in the case of just this, I feel like they did a really good job introducing, like, all the characters, at least what they're in. I said before that, you know, I'm not going to trust them either, so maybe the stuff that they've said is also a facade they're putting on, you know, confessionals aside. But facade or not, they've introduced themselves with a very clear characterization, and one that doesn't feel, in most cases, like it's too overboard. The exception, I would say, is probably Ryder, because he feels unnecessarily aggressive for no reason. Oh, and also whichever one that said, "I'm not here to make friends," that one as well, I forgot her name. Oh, Gret, that was it, Gret. Yeah. They felt more caricature than the others. So yeah, Aaliyah, I'm still, you know, trying to figure out, like, what her actual goal is in the first place, because again, the things she says in the confessional and that versus what she does seem to be an active contradiction with each other. But maybe she's just kind of reserving what she's all about until later. So I don't know. Verdict's still out on that one, but everyone else, you know, that I appreciate for, I believe, the intended reasons behind their appreciation. Even fashion designer guy, I'm guessing is probably going to have to learn about, like, you know, how that's not going to help him in this case. And the ones who are trying to form strategies now without knowing what they're in for are in for a rude awakening. So, you know, fair enough, I suppose. As far as visuals go, again, that splitting it up into 4 train stations does allow for more, like, creative backgrounds and such. But you could have also just done a thing where it was, like, 1 train station and several different places within that train station. You know, maybe, like, one of them is that maybe, like, a few of them were just in the gift shop or something. One was, like, inside. One was in, like, the cafe that you get at some train stations, and the people, like, on the actual station itself, away from the buffers and or rails. Importantly so. Then you can have, you know, the small introductions of characters. You can have 1 train that will take them to wherever they need to go, and I guess potentially have that train be the gimmick of how they leave. I don't know how they're going to do the eliminations or such. I'm not sure what that will entail. But something along those lines, if that would have worked more, because in-universe, I mean, a studio renting out 4 train stations for their first season of a show as a proof of concept is definitely not a very good business model. Out of universe, I get what they're trying to do, but they could do the same thing through other methods, basically. And like I said before, I appreciate the minor elements of animation. They're not overwhelming. The pacing of some of them, because of how the keyframes work, is something I would say to work on. I just pay attention to if characters have keyframes, don't have them slide way too soon. It's a very easy mistake to make, but you know, in general, obviously, that's why there's like, you know, watch throughs or something. I'll say the amount of times that I've been rendering a Mutant Girl episode, and because it takes a long time to render, I have to then check the video file while it's still rendering, and I realize I made a mistake and I have to like go back and cancel everything. It's happened before, so especially when there's a deadline for it, like the anniversaries, I understand the crunch. But hey, you know, it's got to be done. I'm afraid I don't know a workaround around that, let's say. But yeah, I'm pleased to report that the red flags surrounding the look how much effort put into this thing were unfounded this time. So I'm glad that we didn't go into that. So yeah, I'd say for just a general for this group, have more faith in yourselves, because you don't need to tell someone you to put effort into something. They can see it for themselves in this case, and it actually does come across. So you know, I'm invested. I'm along for the ride, much like the contestants are on all the trains. I'll back to what I was saying before about like the time wise for like the contestants. It's a shame that it takes a full episode to introduce like this many characters effectively, because then you miss out on the chance to have like a first challenge in an episode. So in an actual reality TV show, they have the first challenge at least start towards the end, and maybe leave you in suspense going forward, so that you actually, you know, want to come back and see more. Or they'll air a couple episodes simultaneously, so you don't have to, you know, wait. Depends on what goes on. And yeah, the reason they do that is because, again, audience ratings and such. So normally you want to have like a challenge in the first episode, but because of how many there are here, I understand why they didn't go that route. It also, as far as like, you know, introducing all these different characters, having them all have all these big personalities, knowing that some of them aren't going to stick around, is definitely going to be more tragic for whoever gets voted off first, or not voted off, but I mean eliminated and then, you know, and then voted off. Actually, there's only two probably. So yeah, whatever that may happen, that may entail. Looking forward to whatever this twist is supposed to be, considering the status quo has not yet been established. But you know, aside from that and a few other clumsy lines, I'm on board with what they're putting down here. So yeah, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll be back next week to check out more of this, of course. So on that note, until next time, farewell.